Welcome to GrayPrimer, a weekly show that's mostly about miniatures. My name is Nick, I'm your host, and we are continuing Adepta August with the Exorcist. It's long been a tradition to bring musical instruments to the battlefield. Bagpipes, drums. Mad Max had electric guitars. But imagine if the bagpipes weren't just playing music. Imagine if they were like firing out spears from the tops of the little pipes. That'd be pretty cool. So what's missing from the battlefield in the 41st millennium? Organ music. Definitely, that would be like first thing in my mind, organ music. Now imagine if the organ fires missiles from the pipes as it's being played. That would be just, nobody would ever actually think to do that. Would they? Back soon. So when I heard about the Adepta Sororitas tanks, when I heard about the immolator, which is in a previous episode, and I'll link that sort of the tank weekend down below because that was fun, so much fun to do. So the immolator was one of the tanks I featured there, and I heard about it. I saw the images, and it's like, stained glass window? Are you kidding me? Like, that's ridiculous. But then it was like a blast shield. It had those two incredible weapons on that rotating platform. It had the altar behind it. It just looked insane. It was a custom rhino platform as well for the Adepta Sororitas, so that was really nice to see as well. They weren't just tacking it on top of the standard rhino. But I loved that tank. Once I got over the initial shock of it having a stained glass window. This one, I'm not sure I'm over the initial shock yet. It has an organ at the back that's full of projectiles. Do you fire up, go find their enemy? Do they make music as they leave? Probably. Knowing Warhammer, they probably do. This thing just looks nuts. In the best possible way. But unusually for a Warhammer paint job, I'm not sure I love this. I'm not sure if I love this red on white here. I think it's almost too much. But I don't know. I'll maybe check out some alternate paint jobs to see how well this looks in a different theme. Loving this. Whatever this is, some kind of it's almost like a bulldozer blade, but it's made of spiked metal bits, and it looks so rough and ready. For an order as refined as the Adepta Sororitas, this looks like something a Gene Stealer cult would have in the front of their tank. Let's have a look at the back. Okay. So we got these servitors. One of those awesome looking, what are they called? Hunter-killer missiles. They're sort of that one-shot long-distance missile. The organ grinder at the top there. Dispensing justice at long range. And conflagration rockets, so that's what they're called inside the tubes. Tons of religious iconography, flamboyant details. Really a painter's dream. So let's get into it. I'm expecting the same rhino platform as we got with the immolator. Let's have a look at the instructions first. Nice big book here, like a, A4 book. Opens obviously to A3. And really clear instructions. I like that very much. And then the specs at the back here. What is the range on that missile? 48 inches. So the Exorcist conflagration rockets are the same, 48 inches. The Exorcist missile launcher, the Hunter-killer missile, all 48s. This thing is punishing. Hopefully accurate also. Okay, big paint guide on the back. Oh, wow. Just taking it in. Lovely stuff. Let's look at so the standard rhino. Well, there's a decal sheet as well. Look at that. I'll have a look at that first, maybe. And again, we've got it split into the different orders. And this looks like a fairly standardized. You got individual units over here, and then you have all the vehicle decals, the different saints and stuff within the decals. All right, so here we have the standard Adepta Sororitas Rhino, and it is standard in name only. It is stunning. The quality of the sculpting throughout is phenomenal. It is a truly beautiful piece of kit. So you got these mesh steps that go outside the main doors. I think they're a really nice touch. And then we can see like the doors, the hunter killer there, the main floor plate here with the bottoms of the treads, and these are the sort of the flame units that are on either sides of the doors. Grenade launchers. And we have our front driver's hatch. The remainder of the treads and everything there. It's a beautiful rhino. And now this will be the Exorcist sprue. How cool is that? The little cherubs holding up this bit of scroll. You could do some freehand work in here with a little bit of fancy writing or something. Maybe grab some of those decals to make that really pop. Conflagration missiles. They look cool as well. The main turret platform there for our organ grinder. You can see the keys of the organ here. That's brilliant. And then the sort of the main structure of it. So many missiles in this thing. I think this is the part at the back of the organ. That's kind of neat. I don't think I've seen it properly from that angle. Maybe I did on the back of the box. Some more servitors things. Nice little wings. A lot more of the sort of the religious imagery. And those would be very cool to paint. And we've got this crazy bull bar thing here. I guess when I see it from this angle, it's a little less ramshackle than it looks like on the box. It looks more like a portcullis from a castle. So that's kind of neat. I don't know about this, though. These little guys here, they could be kind of fragile. There might be a little bit of heartache coming for me when I try to snip those off the sprue. So I'll take great care there. Yep. So let's go get it built. I'll be back soon. So I thought when I was building a tank that had a bulletproof stained glass window smack bang in the middle of it, I thought that was the weirdest tank I'd ever built in my life. Link down below to the immolator. But then I discovered this madness. The Adepta Sororitas Exorcist. And I just thought, yeah, that's going to be so much fun to build. Was it as much fun as the immolator? I think so. Yeah, it was kind of cool. I mean, of course, the immolator was the first time I'd seen the new Adepta Sororitas Rhino. So I'm just going to take the lady out of the playing position because otherwise she's just going to rattle around. So the immolator was the first time I'd had a chance to look at this new Rhino platform from Adepta Sororitas, and of course that was all new then. This time it was a little bit like, oh, I gotta build another one of these. But the hardship. It did remind me that there were certain things within the build of that I didn't really understand, such as why it wasn't possible to have this door on a hinge so that it could be left unglued so that you could open it up as... I'm sure, it wouldn't be very difficult to modify it so that it stayed open, but I would have liked it to have a hinge here. Like, just all it would have taken was the two little sort of cups on either side and then the pegs to go in and a snug enough fit at the top so that it doesn't always just flop open. I think the Predator was built like that. Anyway, at the Rhino base aside, I have this awesome new grille on the front, which actually I thought was pretty cool when I was putting that on. Lots of these great details throughout. This fantastic and flamboyant back with the sort of the closed wings here. You've got these little servitor cherub dudes, and they're hanging off the edges. I think there were a few options of where you sort of glued those on, but I thought they turned out okay. And the actual organ detail is fantastic. You can see all the keys and everything in there for the organ, which is amazing. And I left the actual organ player unstuck. You can see them here lacking their lower limbs, but I did have their head sort of thrown back in the ecstasy of playing. You can see the hair flicked in the wind there slightly. I thought that was a nice way to build that character, so that when you see them from this angle, you can sort of see how much they're digging the music of destruction. And there's a little altar at the back there as well with some of the more open pipes. You can see some of the amplification structure here as well. So, is it my new favorite Adepta Sororitas tank? No, I don't think so. I think the Immolator still wins it for me. In battle, I have no idea. Maybe this is better. It certainly would have a heck of a lot of range with those missiles. It still has the Hunter-Killer at the side here that is the same as the Immolator, that sort of optional one-shot long-range missile. But this obviously would have a lot more sort of firepower. This would have a lot more long-distance sustained firepower than the Immolator. The Immolator is much more get up close and burn them to a crisp. I'd say in a close fight, this would be fairly useless, apart from its bolter at the front. It's got that heavy bolter sticking out, but still pretty cool. And really enjoyed putting it together, even if, sort of half the build was something I had just recently done for the Immolator. It didn't matter. It's still a straightforward build. It doesn't feel like the rhinos of old that were just an absolute pain to put together. This is fine. The only sort of pain point I have are the parts of the tracks which curl around here, which you have to put on individually. I don't really understand why that couldn't just be sculpted into the track. Maybe there's a variant build or something coming that needs that option of accessing the tracks there. I don't really know. It doesn't matter. It's just one of those things that's a little bit fiddly, but overall fine. And a nice tank. Wouldn't be in my favorite tanks that I've built of late, and I have built a lot, but it's original. It looks kind of cool. I imagine it would sound incredible on the battlefield. I wonder, does the music get better as the pipes are cleared of missiles? Who knows? But that wraps it up for The Exorcist. Like, share, and subscribe if you're enjoying these videos. As I've been doing all through August, I will link to all of the other videos in this Adepta Sororitas August series in the show notes below. Tomorrow's the last episode in this series. It's a big one to finish on. It's the Triumph of St. Catherine. That incredible set-piece diorama thing with so much going on that it is almost too much to take in just at one sitting. Honestly, not to be missed. That's in the next episode coming at you tomorrow. Until I see you again, please take care. Bye-bye.